um, fight Lomachenko versus um, Ortiz. And for those of you who don't know who Ortiz is, this kid is the real deal. I don't know if you saw the fight, but this kid he is quite the specimen when it comes to boxing and physical ability and speed, power, um, you know, ability. This kid switch hits. He's got a killer jab, and not only that, he knew Lomachenko because he sparred him for 5 weeks, preparing Lomachenko for Richard Comey. Now, granted, when you get hired to spar someone, you don't get hired to fight in your style, okay? Right? So you get hired when a fighter hires you, say, hey, I need a sparring partner. First of all, they're going to hire you because they've seen you fighting and you have similar traits to the fighter that they're going to face. So you're hired to mimic. Your job is to imitate the fighter that fighter is hiring you to fight, meaning that the fighter who hired you is going to fight. So his job was to mimic Richard Comey. And now, granted, in order for you to mimic another fighter, you have to know what you're doing. You have to be a good fighter, because most people, it's hard to fight like someone else, because when you get hit, you're going to try to go back to fighting the way you fight, because you know yourself. So, and that's what you're comfortable with, you're used to fighting with. So when that happens, you learn a lot from the person that you're fighting. So if I'm hired to spar a boxer, you learn a lot of their stuff. Now, you're not going to learn everything, because in sparring, you're not fighting at full power, at full speed. You're not going to react the same. There are some fighters who purposely let themselves be hit in sparring so that they know what to do if they get in trouble with the other fighter when they face him. So mind you, remember, I told you that they're mimicking whoever's the sparring partner of the main fighter, the fighter who hired you. You know that they're mimicking. Okay, so yes, you're going to see some of the stuff that the fighter. So a lot of people will I compare it to when you spar Canelo. You see a lot of Canelo sparring, and a lot of people say, damn, he gets hit a lot in sparring. He does that on purpose because he wants to see how he's going to react. And he wants to get in trouble sometimes, and he wants to learn different things. He wants to make the mistakes in sparring. So those are tactics that boxers use if they're small. Some boxers, they don't do that. Some boxers, they go full throttle, but a lot of them don't. One of the stories out there, and everybody, when Joe Frazier sparred, he sparred full force, pedal to the metal. Now this was Joe Frazier, Now mind you, Joe Frazier was a beast. He was Joe Frazier today would fight in the cruiserweight division, But being Joe Frazier, he wouldn't give a shit. He would fight King Kong. This is Joe Frazier, the deep, dark, cold, dark soul. When he was in the ring, he went in there to die, literally. Muhammad Ali, they asked him a bunch of times, and they told him, he said it clearly, if I ever went to war, I wanted Joe Frazier next to me, because he knew what type of fighter, of warrior that Joe Frazier was. But most fighters that I know of, they don't go full power, they don't go full intensity, they don't go full skill during a sparring session, okay? Because, you don't want it leaked out there with, all your tricks. So, having said that, if Devin Haney thinks he's going to go in there and impose his size on Lomachenko, Devin Haney is a tall kid. He's in for a rude awakening. Lomachenko is at the top of his weight. And yeah, I think this is as high as he should go at 135. Okay, because once you get to 140, that's another story. With tall fighters and stuff, but really tall fighters. So, and at 135, the advantage that Haney has is in his jab. It is his reach advantage. If you watch Devin Haney fight, you're going to see that Devin Haney, he's a fundamental boxing genius. In fundamental boxing, all right? In fundamental boxing, in that kind of peekaboo style, where not peekaboo, I'm sorry, Philly shell, half Philly shell that he does, where he covers with the shoulder roll, and he holds both under his chin like that on the Philly shell, and he telegraphs punches. Devin Haney telegraphs punches. Watch him. He's got a lot of tells. If it was a poker player, he'll get beat a lot because he's got a lot of tells. He does not have a poker game when he boxes. It's just that he's so fundamentally sound. He has just enough speed, and he's long, and he knows how to use his advantages that his opponents they get caught up into trying to play the fundamental boxing game. You play a fundamental boxing game on Lomachenko, you get your ass whooped. That's the specialty. That Lomachenko is not only a master of fundamental boxing, but Lomachenko, what he really is, he's a savant of opportunistic speed boxing. Speed and creativity. People think they got him figured out. So if you saw his fight last night against Jermaine Ortiz, you're going to see what true genius in creative boxing, with footwork, with counterpunching inside of a counterpuncher is all about. He counterpunches in between punches. That's what he does. You say, man, that's too complicated. No, it's not. Look, pay attention to what he does. Just when you think he's going to commit to something, he changes. He makes you counter, and right when you're countering, he'll throw a straight left, and here comes another straight right. Right after he moves out of position, he'll launch a right cross in a jab form, and he'll clock you. Guess who did that for his entire career? Knocked people the fuck out all the time. Manny Pacquiao. That's why he was so successful. Yes, he was blindingly fast, Manny Pacquiao, but he punched between punches. Ask Keith Thurman how that feels. It renders you useless, and then you're caught trying to. He gets you tired. That gets you tired. The head game. the head game, man. That head game will get you tired all the time. So, what do I think is going to happen? Devin Haney, his Philly show, you know, Haney with his Philly show and coming in, what? And right there, Lomachenko is going to come up the top. When he flashes that, it's over. Because Lomachenko is going to go like he's going to come in with a jab, right? He's going to come in with a jab, and here comes the left over the top. Because Haney's is going to Philly shell. He's going to try to Philly shell, right? He's going to try to Philly shell right there. When Loma shows him the right, he's going to try to Philly shell, but Loma's going to switch right there on the left. Right there on the left. Okay? Right there. He's going to switch. Loma's going to bait. Haney's going to Philly shell, and it's going to come from here. What? Right on his face. And I don't know if you noticed, Devin Haney doesn't have the greatest chin. He really doesn't. And then when he gets hit in the breadbasket, like Lomachenko loves to do with that straight left, bah, come in and get out. And then people think Devin Haney's fast. He's really not that fast. You know, that's what I'm trying to tell you. He's got really good timing. And timing has a tendency to beat speed. Okay? You remember Joseph Aldo getting knocked out by Conor McGregor? That was all timing. Joseph Aldo was way faster than Conor McGregor. Conor McGregor had the timing on him, and Joseph Aldo let Conor McGregor get in his head and get angry, so he launched himself without tech. You know, he just wanted to knock him out, and he was too angry, so he didn't pay attention to the fundamentals. So fundamentals, yes, they're very important, but when you're dealing with a savant, a creative savant, a master of speed, and by the way, people think, oh, Lomachenko's too old. Listen, at 35 years old, when you reach 30, I'm 53. When I reached 35, I was at the peak of my strength. Right now, I spar sometimes with my son. He's 17, my boy. He's 6'3", really strong, and he punches like a mule. Well, when I hit him, I don't hit him full force, and I hit him on his body, he goes down. You know, the older a guy gets, we get slower, but we get strength. You know, I asked all the guys in the world's strongest man competition. They'll tell you, it's like, damn, I keep getting stronger. Guys as they get older, get really strong. I don't know if you got anybody from the old school back in the day. My family were farmers. Yeah, and those guys in their 60s, they went like that and they flexed. You went like touch this and it was like rock. You know, they got really strong with their grip and stuff. They get older, they get slower, but they get stronger. You know, so what I think is going to happen, Lomachenko is going to maul him. Lomachenko is going to study him a little bit, a few rounds. You don't have to be studying Devin Haney too much. You know, he's predictable. You know, it's just that he's got really good timing. He's long, and he's a really good fundamental boxer. But he can't take a punch. He won't know what to do with Lomachenko's footwork and in between punches. So he's in for an ass whooping. He's going to get knocked out. That's what's going to happen with Devin Haney. Devin Haney is not going to stop Lomachenko. He's not going to beat him in points. None of that. He's going to get knocked out. Once Lomachenko figures, you know, he's already got it figured out. But once he lands a few good, boom, it's over. He can run and he can, go stay outside and try to keep him at bay. Everybody's tried to do that. The only people that can beat Lomachenko right now is Teofimo Lopez, because he's just super, super strong, super fast, very creative, has got a really good chin, and he is brave, super risk taker. He's willing to take, super dangerous risks, because he knows he can land stuff that's devastating. And Tank Davis. Those are two people that can beat Lomachenko right now, even at almost 35. Devin Haney is not the one. He's not the one to beat Lomachenko. He might be undisputed, that was a fluke that he won those Cambosos. He won the title. Why did he won win the title? Um, Teofimo almost died in that fight. There was a rupture in his esophagus, and he had air. The doctor said it was a miracle he didn't die. It ruptured, and there was air pressing in. He could barely breathe, and he still won 12 rounds, and actually a competitive fight. He really competitive, but he was dying. He fought till almost died. So it was a fluke. He didn't, Kambosos won that fight. Kambosos is not an A-level fighter. It's not on elite level. Maybe an A- fighter, but it's not, up there. So if he thinks he's going to do to Lomachenko what he did to Kambosos, he's dreaming. I mean, no disrespect, man. There are levels to boxing. And Devin Haney is just not the elite level fighter that people think he is. He still has to go, ways to go. Yes, he's a hustler. He's very brave. He's got great, fundamental boxing skills, amazing timing. That is the one thing that makes him really, really dangerous is his timing. But he's not the blinded speed thing that people, think he is. He's not. He's really not. He tells us, and people, a lot of people get in their head when you're scared of a fighter or they're too famous, something like that. You think they're not human or something like that. They're just another person. But Lomachenko is still an elite level, savant level fighter. And Haney's just not at his level. It's he thinks he's gonna outbox him or something like that. It's just he's not. It's just there are levels to the game, and he's going to get knocked out. That's what's going to happen.